Welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Claudia Rosenhouse Raiken. She is a senior teacher at the School of Images, where she runs their DreamBirth program in that capacity. She has trained professionals worldwide and works with countless women and couples from all continents. She is world expert at facilitating communication between the parents and the baby in the womb, or with the souls planning to come, still not conceived, and even those who that were miscarried or aborted. Welcome to the show, Claudia.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the introduction said everything I do. Thank you.
Yes. Welcome to the show, Claudia. Welcome to India in this online form. Uh, and not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe, I'm sure, will benefit from what we'll be talking about, the parent-child bond. But even though I spoke about in the thing about you in the introduction, that can never be enough, because what you can say about yourself will be something much more better than any written word. So,
Oh,
if you can take us a bit about your journey, especially into what you are doing right now, why you are doing this, so that the people know exactly, more about who they are listening to.
absolutely. I'm going to cut to the chase because um, I do believe I was born to do this, even though it took me a long time. All right. Um, I I have two adopted children, two adopted girls from China, and uh, when I would have sessions. She became a very good friend, but she was a seer, a very good seer, and she would be advised by people very old. And one day they told me, "You need to work with pregnant mothers," and I'm like, "Why? Why? I had adopted children. Why are you suggesting this?" I fought it for quite a bit, but they said, "You will have a lot to offer." Okay, I still didn't know what I had to offer, but I had become. I became a doula, which is someone that helps um, a pregnant woman not to deliver the baby, but for their comfort, psychological, physical. All right. Um, Different trainings. I do body work, so my hands know how to heal, how to help somebody really relax. All right. And then I start to feel that imagery, short visualizations, which I think have been done in India for thousands of years, because I had neighbors, in the United States, people come from everywhere. And my neighbors were from India. And she was pregnant. And I'd go to her and I said, I do imagery to help the baby and to help you have a good birth, not hurt so much. And the husband is there while I do one of my short visualizations from DreamBirth. And he says, "Oh, we do that all the time in India." And he gave me a few short images that they have how to stop hiccups. We realized the same language was being used. All right, so I my intuition, my guidance kept saying, learn imagery, learn visualization, and so. Um, in one of the workshops, I learned about Dr. Catherine Shaneberg, who is beyond the expert in this type of imagery. And I go to her, I said, "Can you teach me imagery for birth?" She says, "Yeah, I can teach you imagery for anything." Long story short, she said, after working with me, I'm better with a group. So I got her a group together. The universe helped me so that this work could be done, because I found a group of us that dealt with babies. All right. Um, as Although the imagery is to help you have a good birth, to not hurt so much, to not tear, um, the work for me developed a lot in the mother talking to the baby, talking to the baby while in the womb. But even interestingly, if someone would come to me and they'd had perhaps a miscarriage or sometimes perhaps an abortion, which they would never tell me about till the very end. And so when someone is guilty, when someone feels bad, they won't let their they won't let themselves have a good birth, have a good life, because they're bad, right? So I don't deserve to be good. So I know that part of it is dealing with this. And in doing this work, the imagery gets a person in a very slight meditative state where if I say, go in and see your baby, let your eyes go down to your womb, tell your baby anything you want. Does your baby have anything to say to you? At first, the baby then maybe will, um, maybe they'll see the arms like this. Maybe baby will say, I love you. Simple. Ah, what happened here? All right. You're not there, but I can keep
I'm
talking.
here. I'm very
I
here. I wanted to give you a bigger canvas.
But what started to amaze me is, and I did this once by accident, but I guess I was being led. So one of the exercises that is very important is a, a woman creates a garden, and that's a garden where she'll invite all her loved ones, see the doctors in light, and have the birth. All right. And one day I was working with a woman who described the most luscious garden. I mean, it was, you know, big flowers, big leaves. It was just a waterfall, a wonderful garden. And I, I basically asked her to ask her baby if there was anything else the baby wanted in the garden. And lo and behold, the baby shows her and says to her, pebbles. And I'm like, oh, pebbles. And I said, well, put pebbles in your garden. Okay. This is since that time, I actually ask every mother to ask their baby what they would like in the garden. And the answers vary from more orange flowers, water. I want my father in here. I want my dog. It goes all over the place. But the pebbles one, 11 years later, um, this mother messages me in Instagram. She's like, hi, I just see you're on Instagram, and I remember that her child had wanted pebbles, which was curious to me, right? Who asked for pebbles? And so I asked her, her boy was now almost 11, and I asked her if he had anything to do with pebbles. Her response was to send me 5 photos. He is obsessed with pebbles. He um, he arranges them very specifically on his little piano, on his desk. Um, he, in the car, he has like a shelf. He just arranges them. And I said to her, well, anyway, she says they can't go anywhere without giving him bags so that he can collect these pebbles. So I will, I'm going to check with her 15 years from now. So we see what this human being does with pebbles. So, but as I work, I understand that the babies are doing and listening to the exercises. And so now when I do any exercise, even when the baby hasn't been conceived, I say connect with your baby. Ask the baby if it liked the exercise. And not only will the baby respond, the soul, but they will say what part of the exercise they like the most. Which, so to me, I feel like I am having, if I'm with a woman or with a class of, say, 4 pregnant women, I'm really with 8 because we're talking to the babies. Okay. So, um, And the most useful, well, so many things are useful, but when you connect with the soul before it's coming, the soul can help you. Mommy, you need to play more. Mommy, you need to drink more. Mommy, you need to be a little calmer. I mean, that they're really wonderful, wonderful advice. And I do think that, contrary to what it looks like, the energy is changing for the better. And the babies coming in are extraordinarily loving and wise. And they want the mother, which I think in India you do naturally. I think your tradition is to talk to the babies, to the soul in the tummy, in your, but and babies that have been lost, they're there for you many times. They're still loving you. So um, the world that has opened up to me. Oh, I have to tell you this one story. It just happened. All right, I train others to train in dream birth imagery, so that they can work with pregnant people like I do, or people who want to get pregnant. All right, so one of my students, almost finishing the training, she'd also finished her nurse training, and I think she's going to go on to be a midwife. But she writes to me, Claudia, I need a session with you. So we have a private session, which, by the way, we do private sessions and small classes and trainings. Okay, so I I didn't know if she was going to tell me she finished her nurse training. I wasn't sure what announcement, because we get on Zoom and she says, it happened. And I'm like, okay, what happened? And it turns out that she's pregnant. And so we're both very happy. And I decide, even though she knows all the exercises, she's almost done with the training, that we're going to do 2 exercises for her and the baby. So we do an exercise where you connect with a tree and the ground, and one where you get lights all around you. They're 2 very good exercises to calm the mother, to nurture her. And then I say to her, ask the baby what the favorite exercise is. I'm thinking of these 2 that I just gave her. And the baby says, I like the one where we both become water. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I go, ask your baby, is she talking about rehearsing the birth in water? And she says, yes, that's the one the baby likes. And then it occurs to me that we did that exercise at the beginning of the training, a year before, really, because the training takes about a year. Although I'm working on shorter trainings. So I realized that that baby was doing the exercises as a soul, not conceived yet. They dream birth imagery is the language of the babies. It's imagery, it's visualization. It's one baby who was miscarried and then became a guide of sorts, because his mother was very gifted in hearing the baby and talking for the baby. I would, and that miscarried soul said, Claudia, ask me anything. I want to tell you all about babies. All these babies want to talk to you. And I asked about imagery. I said, because I know guides come in dreams, the universe talks to us in many ways. I said, can you, is imagery good? The answer was, oh, imagery is the language of the universe. It is a universal, really universal language. And dream birth imagery has very short, poetic little inductions, very short. So they're easy to do. And and you get your own images. which then makes it easy to remember. But you can also have them recorded, or you can read them. My book is called Messages from the Womb, which really came from all the things the babies had said. It was just too extraordinary to me to listen to what miscarried babies had to say, babies before coming in and in the womb, or who had left after abortion. So I don't think of myself as a writer, but although my father was a writer, I've had lots of writers in my line, but I felt like I have to get this information out. It is too extraordinary, too loving, too life-giving um, to not report on this. And so the book I ended up writing is really stories with different mothers, and it's divided with what baby said in the womb, what baby said um, if they were miscarried, aborted, or coming in for conception. And I, I feel myself actually surrounded by many baby souls because they want this information out. They want people to remember their full souls. They are choosing you, the parent, very specifically. It's not an accident. And at least for all those that I'm working with great love. So, do you have any questions?
No, I'm listening. I'm listening. And when everything is being answered, there is only receiving it rather than any questions. I will come to a question once you have spoken.
Okay, so uh, I'm almost wondering if, well, there's exercises, not only to talk to the baby, but a beautiful exercise. If a baby has died, to be, what I'm learning is, and of course, all of us have different beliefs, so one can hear what I'm saying in whatever belief system because it exists. So, um, if a baby leaves, it goes right back to the light instantly. They know that. And and many of those babies that have left will come back. You can ask them, "Are you going to come back?" And the baby will say, "No, I'm not coming back, but somebody else is. I was just waking you up to sleeping better, eating better, whatever." There's different messages. Um, Sometimes a mother is told she has to stop the kind of work she's doing because she's not sleeping, she's traveling too much. So, uh, what was my main point? My main point is you can always ask them, and they are very happy for you to really communicate with them. Invite them to your garden. Um, I had a wonderful mother who could really hear her baby. Many people hear their baby in images and short communications. But
Right.
this one, go ahead. This woman would talk to her baby and could hear the baby. And I was fascinated. I said, "Well, what do you talk about?" And she says, "Well, anything." So when I'm walking to the subway, we pass a yard with a pool that has orange fish, and we talk about how pretty the fish are. So, um, even if the baby is not inside you yet, but has chosen to come to you, they are there loving you. They want, and not only loving you, giving you joy, they like happiness, they like playing. So, as you go about your day, nature is good for anybody who is pregnant or trying to get pregnant. Um, isn't that flower pretty? Oh, the rain feels good. You talk about anything. And they may remind you how much they love you and how excited they are to come to you. So that's the
Right,
main, yeah. Okay.
right, right, Claudia. So, do babies always communicate only to their mothers? That is understandable. Where do they also give messages to their father, would be
Oh,
father?
please, 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 please. First of all, I always ask. Usually I'm working with the mother. Sometimes I also work with the father. They come together and I offer a few private sessions for the father. Oh, no, no, no. They have, okay. So I often say to the mother, ask the baby what message they have for the father. They have a message. What, and if they have brothers and sisters, what message for the children? Also, there are people, if the mother um, is too scared to communicate, sometimes they'll communicate straight to the father or to an aunt or to a friend. Tell my mother I'm here. Tell my mother to talk to me. So, it, look, in the end, spirit world, we're all more connected than we think, right? So, oh, no, no, no. And some babies are coming, frankly, some babies come in because of a father, or some babies come in because they want that brother or sister. Many reasons, right? So, primary and uh, you know, I teach. I have a class for people who have trained with me, and one of the women was a yoga teacher. She trained, and one of her yoga clients was pregnant. Didn't realize she was pregnant, and until quite late. She had used DreamBirth with her first child, and the mother felt awful that she hadn't been talking to the baby. All right, so this type of work also develops your intuition. So I asked all the other practitioners who were it's a supervision class to go in because our answers come from inside, even if they're coming from above. We hear them to see if the baby was upset. Okay, this is interesting. The father apparently is very athletic. And the baby said, no, 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 I want my strength. I'm happy. Don't worry. I want to come in. So this baby chose this very fit, um, athletic father because he has his own ideas of what he's going to do. And we all felt he's fine. He is very happy in the body he's coming in and not to worry. So, no, no, no. And one more thing. I worked with a couple actually. First worked with the mother trying to get pregnant, and she did get pregnant. Um, but then they came to see me a few weeks before their birth. And um, so I taught both of them again the garden and I said, don't worry if it's a different garden. The baby can handle the father and the mother. All children do. They know who they can ask, who they shouldn't, who, we're smart that way. And so they each go into their garden because I want them to invite the doctors and light and all they love. Okay. Then I ask, as usual, ask the baby if there is anything they want in the garden. Okay. The mother was a lawyer, very orderly, and her garden was very ordered, in perfect order. And the husband, who was a visual artist, his garden was wild, beyond wild. Okay. And so this was the baby's advice to the mother. The baby said, bring in a little wildness, please, to your garden. And to the father, the baby said, put in more order, please. And so, but definitely this baby is coming in, it's not a single, it's to the two and to the brothers and sisters. So, absolutely. And some fathers are more able to see the baby and to talk to the baby than some mothers. It's just how life is, right?
Right, right, Claudia. Who are the parents, single or whoever it is, are generally coming to you? What
Oh,
is it that they seek from
thank you.
you?
Okay. Originally, because I was a doula and doulas are a little bit expensive, it would be people who had some money and had heard that doulas will really help you at the birth. My reputation grew with doctors, midwives, and the women because they could stay calm and be fairly relaxed during their birth, right? So, and it also, by the way, helps with cesarean births because when I had my operation and I visualized all the doctors in light with all their instruments in light, and I asked permission of my body to please cooperate. Um, and I have all the people who love me in the garden. I'm also in the garden, and my angels. I invited a lot of people. I was a little bit scared in the operation. And the body does much better. So I don't know now what our main point was, but the imagery helps your body. It helps you get um, healthier ovaries. Okay, who comes to me? That was your question. Thank you. So, uh, first it was doulas. Now, um, I have a few women that are going to do IVF with a partner. I very recently have had a few people that are going to do in vitro fertilization as IVF without a partner. Um, but most I get couples, although I'll see the man for maybe 1 or 2 sessions, um, maybe 3. Um, our women, well, I can't say. I've had them from 25 to 46. Sometimes the women who are older um, need a donor egg. I don't know if that is done at all in India. Um, so, but I never push. I don't have an agenda. I let the babies or the person's inside say, listen, let's try this. So, um, fear is a big component in not being able to get pregnant or not having a good birth. So, um, I spend a lot of time helping women get rid of fear, especially if the fear is long from every relative. Birth is horrible. Birth is going to hurt. So we have to work with the uh, ancestral field, is what we call, because we're being influenced by the field of our ancestors, our country, the world, the time we live in. Um, and of course your own very personal experience. So um, most who come to me are couples. They're married, or in Europe they're not married but they're partners of a very long time. um, a few are single but have heard that I will help. um, I now have almost 50-50 people who come for a good birth, people who want to get pregnant. And then I have a set of people that come to me to heal from a miscarriage or an early death of a baby or an abortion. So the three. And believe it or not, you can be helped to heal from guilt you may have about a miscarriage or abortion, even if it was 30 years before, 40 years before. You know, in dream time and imagery, time is very fluid. So you can change the past, you can change your future, and it's uh, the universe, all that is very happy for when people are learning how to uh, be more open and more fluid in life. Okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Claudia. Uh, your book, Messages from the Womb.
Yes.
Uh, what have you dealt? Is it only about stories, or is it more about, something else? Help us understand a bit more about your book.
Okay. Um, in essence, literally, it is about what the babies have said. However, what the babies are saying is so life affirming, so expansive that it's really just illustrates in how loving a universe we are in. And I see a difference between when I started uh, 25 years ago than now. Men are more open, they're a bit more spiritual. Um, the babies are more talkative. And so I really see a difference. So even though it's about what the babies have said, it presents quite a remarkable uh, view into the universe, into how we come in, into other lifetimes we may have had with the parents that are coming in. Sometimes they'll tell you why they're coming in. I'm here to really teach you about love. It is uplifting. So the end result of the book, you will understand more, perhaps, why you chose the parents you chose or the family you chose. That's not its point, but it becomes its point because all of us were in the womb. All of us, if what I'm seeing with the babies, had great consciousness before coming in. And so it gives you a, a deeper, more, I guess, more spiritual, loving view. So many people have read the book who do not have children and are mind blown in a very good way. It affirms to them that life is good. God is good, but you can just say the universe, the stars. That there is great goodness that is not always talked about or acted upon. So I am hoping that it adds to people's love and more expansive view of what's really there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's much to learn from you about all these things. And I'm sure a lot of people would want to learn more about you, from your from your book. So what's the best way for them to do so?
Well, if you go into my website, Claudia Raiken, skip the Rosenhouse, claudiaraiken.com, it will have the book there. You can get it from many different, in Amazon in every country, in other bookstores. You can get it worldwide. But also, you can email me and say, I'm interested in training. I'm interested in taking a short class about getting pregnant. So I work through the School of Images, which is Dr. Catherine Shainberg's founded by her, and she wrote the exercises in a book called DreamBirth. So, and DreamBirth is one word. So, um, probably my website is the best way, because then they can message me and can find out from me what classes are current. Instagram. We sometimes advertise the classes there or the book, but claudiaraiken.com is probably the best way.
Wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.